Yo, what is going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Zero Spike back again once again. And today, people, today we're here for Avataro Sentai Donbrothers episode 25. And this episode was kind of a fillerish kind of episode, but we got to see a lot from that boy Jiru today. We also got to see all three Sarah brands all coming back, and we haven't seen all three of them fight together in a while now. They kind of all just came out of nowhere when it came down to fighting this Hitotsuki, and we see that also no Don Murasame. Like, this guy, he hasn't been around for at least 3-4 episodes right now, and we haven't seen this guy in a while, and I kind of forgot about him. I kind of forgot about him. Also, no bestials, so it's like I don't know, man. Where they at? Maybe they got their own thing going on. Maybe they're fighting each other. Who knows? But this episode basically starts off with Pink Kijino has basically lost his job because he is a consultant, and we see that the business that he was the business that he consulted in turns out it's a restaurant, and this restaurant ended up basically getting ready to go out of business, and it lost basically like a lot of money. So he ends up getting fired for that because the business that he put into hasn't made any money in a long time. So he ends up getting fired. We see that Kijino feels really bad about this, and he doesn't tell everybody else. And he doesn't even tell Miho. So he decides to basically take on a bunch of odd jobs. Basically, he starts to do like a bunch of different jobs and stuff like that. And he even tries and see if Kaito or Jin will be able to let him be able to get paid while being a Dawn brother. And he's like, no, I can't do it. Kaito was like, oh, he said no. Being a hero is basically, that's done out of charity. Basically, you're volunteering to do that. So no, you can't do that. Then he goes to Jin, and Jin is like, no, visiting hours are over. So he starts to take on all these different little jobs and things like that. And we see that his boss, the dude who basically fired him, he ends up being our Hitotsuki for this episode. And he turns into like this like kind of castle looking thing that he goes around capturing people. Every monster we've gotten just ends up capturing people for some reason. Like, it's weird. He turns people in like these little pink balls, and then they disappear, which is weird. He's like, his whole thing is, hey, come work for me. And he basically turns people into like these little pink balls. So we see that while Kijino is taking all these different jobs, we see that he ends up talking to Taro, and Taro basically kind of misunderstands what Kijino is basically doing, and he thinks that Kijino's mom is in danger and needs some kind of surgery, so he wants to help Kijino out. So he ends up also taking on a bunch of like extra work or like other jobs to help him out. We see that Haruka sees this same thing. He tells her what's going on, and he decides to do the same thing. She talks to Blue, and Blue was like, okay, I'll help you guys out too. But then she kind of says like, no, I don't think you need help because you never worked a day in your life, and money burns you, which literally it does. Like, him literally touching money burns him. And we see that throughout the episode, everybody's taking on these different jobs and things like that. And everybody's like super freaking exhausted and tired. And we end up seeing that Jiru is there. He turns into his little Robotaro, his little not Robotaro, but his Robotaro little dragon form. And he's kind of like in that form, flying around, watching everybody, right? And while he's watching everyone, he sees that oh man, everybody's working together to help somebody else out. Maybe I should help them out too. But then his other half comes out and says, hey, don't let them don't let them get under your skin, like, because if you do, you'll never surpass Taro. Which I kind of thought that his other half was kind of against him surpassing Taro, but I guess his other side is like aggressively wants him to surpass Taro, and he doesn't want him like getting too buddy with Tado because like I'm trying to surpass this guy. I can't be his friend. What is that? So we see that Jiddu still notices that everybody's working really hard. So we end up seeing that they ended up going to the same restaurant that they coincidentally end up coming to the same restaurant that Kijino was consulting in, the one that lost a bunch of business. And we see that Tsubasa is working there. We see that Black, he's working there, and turns out that's when the truth comes out about the whole Kijino thing. And turns out they didn't find out they lost his job, but then the whole thing about his mom being in trouble thing, Tado kind of heard him wrong and stuff like that. So we did see that Blue, he was working a little bit, but he was like doing he was selling haikus to people, and he sold a haiku to this little girl. She ended up giving him some money, and it burned his hand. So it got to the point where he was selling people haikus, but he's wearing oven mitts. And we see that Haruka, she's selling popcorn and handing out flyers and different things like that. Tado, he's basically just super delivery boy. He's delivering food and a bunch of other things. And that's basically Kijino, he's doing a bunch of like hard kind of stuff. He's doing construction stuff like that kind of work. So yeah, so he was like the noodle guy at one point. And but yeah, we see that they all ended up together in this restaurant. They see that Tsubasa is working there, and they found out that it's the same place. So they ended up working together to basically help this restaurant out. And they transform it into their forms, and they make it really lively. They make it like a big party type thing, and it ends up getting a lot of business in this restaurant. And I thought this will be the perfect time. This episode would have been the perfect time to find out that Tsubasa is the Black Ranger, and they still didn't do it. I'm like, how long are we gonna have to keep waiting for this big reveal? How long do we have to keep waiting for this? This is so, it's old at this point. It really is. Like, come on, I'm sick of this. Tony Baker. But we see that after they ended up getting a lot of publicity and traction to this restaurant, we see that we see that the monster, he ends up Kijino's boss, who is the Hitotsuki, he ends up showing up again. And that's when he tries to kind of just cause some more trouble. That's when Jiddu kind of tries to fight him off by himself. And while he's fighting him, he ends up getting intercepted by all three Cerebrands. And he's fighting all three of the Cerebrands and also fighting this Hitotsuki. And then we see that Sonoi basically says that get out of the way, because Hitotsuki should only be defeated by Cerebrand. And that's when Tado ends up coming in and helping Jiddu. And he said, nah, they should be defeated by the Donbrothers. And that's when we get an awesome double team. Also, Jiddu is like switching back and forth from his Tortobolt form to his dragon form. And we see that they ended up having an awesome Jiddu and Tado 2-on-3, 2-on-4 technically kind of thing, where they end up defeating the Cerebrands. The Cerebrands end up running away, and we ended up seeing Tado and Jiddu end up destroying this Hitotsuki. And that's when we see that's when Jiddu and his other half end up turning into their Megazord form and end up taking this monster out at the mech battle, taking him out in a really cool way. He ends up using, we see that Jiddu ends up using one of the LED kind of buildings to destroy this to end up destroying this monster, which was cool. And I noticed that whenever the environment is like the big like temple place, whenever they do the mech battles, we see that that's actually gonna be, we know that that's Jiddu going to be the one to actually take out the monster for this episode. So, but other than that, we see that after they defeated the Hitotsuki, we see that Kijino ends up getting his job back, and because of all the good business that he did, that him and the Don brothers ended up doing for that restaurant. So he ends up getting his job back. And yeah, after that episode kind of ends up right there, man. A little breaking the fourth wall too. And we also broke the fourth wall again with the episode 26 preview, when it says that, oh man, wait, it's Kamen Rider Revice's final episode. But then as soon as he gets ready to say Revice, it beeps out. It beeps out and it says that, all right, since it's their final episode, it's gonna be our final episode too. And I was like, wait, what? And they said we're gonna see who's the MVP of the team. So I guess the next episode is gonna be like a big competition they're gonna have with each other, I guess, to see who's the best in the team. And I'm kind of looking forward to that, because they look kind of edgy the way they looked in that episode. So, but yeah, we all know it's not the final episode, man. We ain't even got nothing done really. So but yeah, this episode was funny. It was great. I mean, I'm still stuck on the whole, like, them finding out about Tsubasa, stuff like that. I'm really still stuck on that. But other than that, this was a funny episode. Classic Don Brothers goodness. But you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this episode. And I'll see you guys next time. Remember, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification, and stay henshin.